Is this what you look like? Or perhaps did look like? Yeah, I get you. So what do you change? Well, obviously you gotta eat, but me and you both know that's a little more nuanced than that. So without wasting your time, let me give you a guide on bulking as a teenager from a bulking teenager. Let's start. So why am I allowed to make this video? And why should you trust me? Well, I've been bulking for a little over a year. I've went from 130 pounds to 185 pounds. I went from being able to bench press 80 pounds to being able to bench press 145 pounds. And who knows, it may even be higher. I haven't checked my PR in a couple weeks. And I just like to focus on my arms. I mean, look, for a prior skinny guy, being able to fit in a shirt like this is absolutely amazing. I mean, look at this. There's no gap for my fingers. I used to have a 2-finger gap, like something like this. I've worked out for about 2 years and consistently for the last 4 or 5 months or so. I've made a whole bunch of stupid mistakes that I think you can learn from. A whole bunch of mistakes that held back my progress for months. You would be way further ahead than me if you listened to what I said and didn't make the same mistakes that I did. Alright, so then what should you do? Well, now, given that you hopefully trust me, first thing you gotta do to be able to eat is to figure out what your maintenance level is. If you don't know what that is, it's basically just how many calories you need to not gain weight and to not lose weight. Mine is somewhere around the 4,000 calorie mark, but that's on the very high end. I'd be very surprised if many of you were eating at that level, just to maintain your size. And you might be asking yourself, how do you find your maintenance? And the answer is it's relatively simple. Given that you're skinny, you're definitely not eating enough, so add in a couple extra 100 calories. And then use a scale to see if you're gaining any weight, while making sure to track your calorie input through an app like MyFitnessPal. Then, when you can see that you're gaining around half a pound to 1 pound per week, you know that you're in the sweet spot. That's how I figured out my maintenance level. But you could also use a site like here, which is going to estimate what your maintenance level is. And if you know you're a guy with high metabolism, then you put yourself on extremely active. And if you know you have lower than average metabolism, then you can reduce your activity levels. And this way you can get like a ballpark and then create adjustments from there. But whichever way you go, you're going to be ready for the next thing you got to do, which is where we get to eat. You gotta get enough food, and it's surprisingly simple. Make sure to track the food that you're eating for the first week so you can understand more about food's calorie input and macro input. Given that a lot of the calories and macros you're getting are gonna be coming from the same meals. A good range for protein is around 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, which has been shown to be enough for optimal muscle growth, which is really easy if you're a guy who's 180 pounds like me. That's 144 grams of protein a day. Not too bad. I skipped breakfast today, but I ate a really big lunch. I ate 2 loaded peanut butter sandwiches. I'll show a picture right here of what my peanut butter sandwiches looked like. And then I ate some chicken and bread when I got home. Bam. That's more protein than I need, which is that little amount of food. And these meals are great too because I was also able to get my fats and carbs that I need to have good gym performance while you're on the bulk. Which is another thing, don't forget about your carbs and fats as they're very important to gym performance. And a lot of people think that fats are all bad, like they're always bad and you should minimize them. No, that's sugar that you're thinking of. Fats are actually really good for you as long as you don't go too high, just like on any nutrient. You only really want to stay away from fats and carbs when you're on a cut. And then once you got into the groove of things, maybe you got a month in, you can just start by doing a simple rule, which is whenever you're full, take a couple extra bites. Boom, you got your bulk. Some great foods you could look at are peanut butter.
Peanut butter? Peanut butter? Peanut butter? Oh, and also peanut butter.
Like, I kid you not, I have built almost my entire human body out of peanut butter. They're just OP. Look at the nutrition facts on a jar of peanut butter, and you'll see why they are the most OP food for bulking out there. Just make 2 of those sandwiches that I've shown, and you got yourself like breakfast and lunch, just like that. But you know, there's other foods like eggs, dairies, beef, chicken, all that other stuff that can be really good for bulks too. It's really not that difficult. So many of these fitness YouTubers, and especially these fitness chicks, really overcomplicate their meals. Like, I'm really happy that I'm not a woman trying to get fit because the meals that these girls make are wild, so disgusting, and definitely not something I want to eat every single day. I mean, look at that! What the heck is that? What is that? What is that? Anyways, nothing's ever that simple, and just eating isn't going to get you to where you want, because you're just going to put on weight, but it's not going to be any muscle. So that's where part 2 comes in. You gotta lift weights, obviously. But what do? Most newbies, the reason that they don't work out is because they just don't know what to do. Well, I got you. Here's some easy exercises that you can just include on your very first day. And this will be in push-pull leg format. So for push day, you're gonna start off with overhead press, And make sure that you're standing so you can get some really good activation on your core and other stabilizing muscles that will help you in your day-to-day life. You want to target the shoulders because they're the most aesthetic part of a push day. The chest is a muscle that you really yourself likes the most, but the shoulders really adds to the V-taper. That's what we're usually going for. Remember, the ideal body type is where shoulder to shoulder is 1.6 times the length as your waist. Of course, next is bench press, which is just a really nice compound movement that hits a bunch and develops the chest. And next would be the lateral raise, which is really important for hitting the lateral muscle on your shoulder. And then next will be the incline bench, which is really important for hitting the upper chest, which really doesn't grow that well compared to the lower chest. So you really want to try to prioritize it in your workout plan. And for more advanced lifters, which I say is like 9 to 12 months, you're probably going to want to start doing incline bench before regular bench, just so that you can prioritize the upper chest gains versus the lower chest gain. Next would be the reverse pec deck, which is really good for building the rear delts, which basically no bodybuilder, no gym goer really works on. It's one of the smallest muscles compared to average people of gym goers. And an aesthetic shoulder is one where all three sides are popping out. And last is the upper chest flies, which are really good at hitting the upper chest and is a nice workout to end your day off on. And next would be the pull day, and where we're gonna start off with deadlift, which really just hits two muscles in particular really well that we're focused on here, which is the lats and the back in general, as well as the traps. The traps are a really aesthetic muscle, especially when you get them popping out. And if you do deadlifts, you're just never gonna have to worry about your traps because the deadlifts are just such a good muscle builder. You may be saying that it works out your legs, so maybe you wanna include it on leg day. And the answer is absolutely not, because it's mostly working your back and your traps, and your legs aren't going to be that tired, especially if you do pull day before push day. You give yourself a 48-hour break before you go to leg day. So deadlift, must have. And next would just be the bicep curl, just basic builder, not much I can say about it. And then next is going to be the pull-up, which is an amazing lat builder, and it's really nice because you can either subtract weight if you're someone like myself, struggles doing pull-ups, or hopefully in the future, you add weight and really load up your back in a way that a lot of exercises can't. Pull-ups are basically just a better lat pull-down in general. Next would be hammer curls, which are really good at hitting the biceps, but also the forearms, and really get that vascularity. And then you can also combine that with farmer carries, which does the same thing. You can do that during your rest period and whatnot. And next would be cable rows, which I just find as an easy to end back exercise that really allows you to target the lats to get that mind muscle connection that a lot of these fitness gurus talk about in a way that deadlift has a hard time doing. And the last is the chin up, which again, like the cable row, is really good at getting that sensation in your bicep. And you just have to focus on, instead of pulling your body up above the bar, making sure to pull your head towards the bar. And that's how you can focus on the biceps without getting too much back activation. Other than that, pull day is a really fun day. You're gonna enjoy it. And on the other hand, we got leg and triceps. And you might be asking yourself, Dylan, why did you add triceps to leg day? And the reason is twofold. First is because I wanted to equalize the amount of volume I had each day. It seemed kind of dumb to me that I would have maybe 3 or 4 on one day and then like 12 on another. And so I wanted to do that so I could equalize the amount of exercises I did each day. And then probably more importantly is I add triceps over because that's one of my most favorite things to work out. And then I also hate doing legs, and so it really gives me a motivating factor to do leg day. So without triceps being there, I don't know how many leg days I would have skipped in the past because I was thinking about, whatever. People only look at my upper body anyways. Who cares about my legs? So yeah, getting back to it. Start off with a squat, which is just an amazing all-around compound movement builder for the legs. And then go into tricep dips, which basically everything I said about the pull-up and the chin-up just applies here. You can always do it at the same machines and whatnot. Next is the leg press, which I found is really good at hitting both the quads and the calves, and really allows you to get that isolation on the quad muscle. And next would be the straight bar pull down, which self-explanatory. Next would be the RDL, which really helps you get the glute and thigh activation. And lastly, ending off with tricep extensions, either the underhand or overhand variation. And of course, all workout plans are, instead of doing tricep extensions, you could do skull crushers instead. And instead of doing pull-ups, maybe you want to do a bent over row. Whatever you find more enjoyable is important in exercising, because you do want to enjoy your time at the gym. I wanted to get a gym membership so that I could get to an assisted pull machine so I didn't have to do bent over rows in my basement because I just hated them so much. And a couple things to keep in mind at the gym is that you want to have correct intensity and correct rep ranges. So usually what you want to do is you want to go 1 to 2 reps away from failure on each set. And you can do this by figuring out what you think your max is and then actually going to your max. What will usually happen is that you might be able to get like 2, 3, maybe even 1 rep extra in there. And then that's how you can base off of I feel like I'm at failure. Maybe I gotta do 1 more and then I'll actually get to the correct intensity. And then make sure to stick in the 6 to 12 rep range, which has been shown to be the area where hypertrophy excels at. People think it's 8 to 12 for some reason, but no, it's 6 to 12. And cool thing about having like a 6 through 8 plan is that you can also get a lot of strength gains as well as muscle gain. But about the intensity thing, just know that going too hard is much better than not going hard enough. Because the whole point of exercising is that you want to be progressively overloading. That's how you build muscle. Every week you either increase reps or you increase weight. You keep doing that and that's how you build muscle. And then just make sure to keep coming back to the gym no matter what. Make sure you stay consistent. There's a 3-month period in the start where it's always pretty difficult for people, but you gotta get through that if you want progress. It's not an overnight process building your body, and so you just gotta be able to stick with it. And maybe you gotta grab a friend and get a gym bro. That's why gym bros can be so helpful, is that they can really help you stay consistent and really help you maintain that intensity while at the gym. Some of my most productive times is when I had a gym buddy that would come with me every day. Oh man, the support I got on. But a quick section here is supplements, which I'm not gonna tell you anything that's gonna give you huge boosts, but over time I'm sure would lead to big differences. Now first is protein powder, which is not a necessity, but can be very helpful. It's a cheap source of protein and can really help you hit your protein goals if you're struggling with that. And is definitely crucial if you're trying to maximize your anabolic window by being able to get protein shaken before gym and be able to get your protein powder after gym, your pre-workout, your post-workout. Can be really helpful. And next is zinc and vitamin D, which are really important in testosterone production, which among many other benefits, most importantly for us here, helps in muscle building. And then along the same lines, magnesium is really good for sleep, and sleep helps muscle recovery, testosterone production, mental fortitude, gym performance, basically everything you want. They won't give you huge benefits, but if you got some extra money, I don't see why you wouldn't want to improve your in-game stats, I guess you could call them. If you want to, just know they're in the description below. And that's all you gotta do. Eat a little more than you think you need to, work out consistently at the correct intensity, and maybe add in some supplements if you got the money. That's all you gotta do. It's not hard. By making this choice and sticking with it, it will be one of the best decisions you ever make. You're gonna look back at yourself 12 months ago and feel so proud about where you are today. Trust me, it's only been a couple of months into this journey, and I can already tell you that it is something I'm very proud of. And well, on that note, fittingly, make sure to put in the work, put in the hour, and think better. And that's Dylan, out. Now go get ripped, protein shakes.